mission statement that the university would like us to share with you. Your experience here at Southern New Hampshire University is important to us. It's our policy and practice to create an inclusive and accessible learning environment. If there are aspects of this presentation's design or delivery that present barriers to accessibility, please notify either the Online Accessibility Center, if you're an online student, and the email address there is oac@snu.edu. The phone number is 866-305-9430. If you're a campus student, contact the Campus Accessibility Center at cac@snu.edu or phone 603-644-3118. And if you are a SNU staff or faculty member, contact Human Resources by email at hr@snu.edu. My name is Mark Schappert. I'm an employer relations partner with Southern New Hampshire University Career Services. I'm joined tonight by my colleague Jen Vincent, who is a career advisor for healthcare-related majors. Jen, you want to say hi to folks?
Hello, everyone. My name is Jen Vincent. I also go by JV. I am one of the healthcare career advisors here at SNU. I help with the healthcare nursing population, and I reside in sunny Fort Lauderdale. I'm so glad to have you guys on tonight with us.
Thanks, Jen. We also have some other colleagues with us. I'm not going to introduce everybody that's there, but we really appreciate our dean colleagues being here, as well as my teammate, Peter Bartel, who's already been really helpful to us as we navigate some of the setup tonight. So on this slide, you will see a number of ways to connect and communicate with Southern New Hampshire University Career Services. I would like to suggest that you don't wait until you graduate or wait until you are very close to graduating to begin preparing for a career launch. If you're a career changer or someone starting a new career, it's really helpful to start putting little pieces together along the way. There are many ways you can benefit by starting to prepare for a career change or a career launch sooner rather than later. So contact our office and we'll explain what those are, and we'll give you some of the resources, and we'll help you do that too as well. And the fact that you're here is a great example of one of the little things that you can do to begin to prepare if you're one of the students that's not at graduation yet, but you were driven to come because you know that you can learn something valuable here. So kudos to you. We are so grateful to be joined not by one, but by three representatives from the Mayo Clinic today: Jenna Kidd, Kirsten Jimison, and Dawn Swears, who's not related to Brittany, I'm told. And Kirsten, you're not related to the Irish Whiskey Company either, I don't think so. That's the humor for the evening. Jenna, Kirsten, and Dawn are going to share information with us about Mayo and careers. You can put questions in the chat while they're presenting. We may be able to get to some of them if they're pretty straightforward. Otherwise, we're going to collect some at the end, and they'll speak to them in a little more detail. We're going to go through as many of the questions as we can. If you happen to put in a question tonight and it doesn't get answered and you're really looking for some information, reach out to me or anyone in career services, but I invite you to reach out to me personally. And if I can't give you the answer, I'll check with Jenna or somebody else and we'll get you the information that you need. So at this time, I am going to stop sharing. And I am going to turn it over to Jenna, who has some slides of her own. And Jenna and her two colleagues are going to tell us about Mayo Clinic and careers in healthcare, specifically careers at Mayo Clinic. And we're looking forward to hearing about that. So Jenna, I'll pass it over to you.
Thanks, Mark. And thanks for remembering how to say my last name, Swears, because I did introduce myself to Mark as Dawn Swears, kind of like Spears, but put a P where the W is, or put a W where the P is, but I'm not a singer. So we're so excited to be with you tonight. Welcome, everyone. Thanks for taking some time out of your day to learn a little bit about Mayo Clinic. I know sometimes when you think about Mayo Clinic, you think doctors and nurses, but when I'm in a recruitment booth, I am telling students to think about any and every job that you need to run a college campus or a small city, because of course we need doctors, we need nurses, but we also have business administration, supply chain, IT, human resource individuals, as well as many other careers. And we're going to touch on some of those tonight. A little bit about myself. I have been working at Mayo Clinic for 13 years. I recently relocated to Jacksonville, Florida, the campus here, to help with some workforce development programs. The team that I sit on in human resources is workforce development, and we're out front trying to develop talent early to have them ready for careers at Mayo Clinic upon graduation or some of our pathway programs. And I'm here with my two colleagues. Jenna, do you want to do a quick introduction?
Sure, thanks, Dawn. So I am Jenna Kidd. I am one of the sourcing specialists here within HR at Mayo. I've only been here just over 2 years. It's been absolutely fantastic. I've had the opportunity to support a few different service lines so far, administrative services, medical specialties, CRNAs. It's been a true pleasure, and I'll pass it over to Kirsten to introduce yourself.
Great to meet all of you. I am Kirsten Jemison, a sourcing specialist, primarily supporting our Department of Nursing, but I do support some of our advanced practice provider areas as well. I've been with Mayo Clinic for about 13 years, and similar to Dawn, started out one of our Mayo Clinic campus sites in Phoenix, Arizona. So you'll learn a little bit more about our campuses at Mayo. And now am at our Rochester, Minnesota campus. So we're very excited to be with you today. Thanks so much for your time, and we look forward to answering your questions too.
And it looks like we have students from many different states, so that'll be fun. Keep that chat going. Like Mark said, if you have a question, put it in there. If some, we may answer it as we're going along, or we can do questions at the end as well. So let's just jump in and tell you a little bit about Mayo Clinic. We are a nonprofit, and if you look at that Mayo Clinic logo, you see 3 shields, and you've got clinical practice in the center, but we're also, one of the shields is education. We do have our own educational programs, and we're going to highlight a few of those for you as well. And then that other shield is research. So as you put those all together under one campus, it really can do a lot of good to make sure we can provide that whole person care to everyone who needs healing. Our next slide shows the campuses that we kind of introduced to you. So Rochester, Minnesota is our biggest campus. I think we're up to 35,000 employees there. Next in line is, I think Jacksonville is next at about 9,000 employees and 7,000 in Arizona. We also have some hospitals and clinics scattered throughout Minnesota and Wisconsin as well, so you can see those on the map. So whether you like snow or the desert or the tropical terrain, I think we can meet your needs for weather at one of our campuses. And they're all going through a lot of expansion, so it's an exciting time to be at Mayo Clinic right now. We did want to touch a little bit on our next slide on our Mayo Clinic's vision to be recognized by patients, employees, peer institutions, and the community as a leading model for diversity and inclusion. It's very important to us, and all staff are guided by our primary value: the needs of the patient comes first. Again, that is definitely something as you're looking to see if your values connect with Mayo Clinics. You can see some of our rich ties, which are teamwork, innovation, healing, compassion. I'll let you read through some of those, but every Mayo employee that you meet, it doesn't matter if they're serving patients or they're in administration, the needs of the patient comes first. In our presentation tonight, you are our patients, and we're going to put you top priority, give you some great information, and then have plenty of time for some questions. And our aim is really to care with excellence, have a workforce that reflects our community, and develop talent with opportunities for career advancement. So we want you to come into Mayo Clinic right out of college or high school and grow your career. We'll highlight our career investment program for you as well. Here's just a few of the accolades that Mayo Clinic's received, and we'll give you a few fun facts. We're one of the largest healthcare organizations in the U.S. with over 80,000 employees. This year, 1.2 million people from all 50 states and 138 countries came to Mayo Clinic for care. And our teams are made up of physicians, scientists, residents, fellows, and allied health staff. Primarily, the allied health staff is what we're going to focus on today to give you more information about some of those job titles. It'll be clinical and non-clinical area roles. And we'll not have time to cover all of our rich heritage and history, but you may want to go out to Netflix to see if there's the documentary still available, or there's several books that are on Mayo Clinic that are awesome, just really enjoyable to read. And we've talked about, as you can see from our logo on the slide too, we're honored to have been recognized by U.S. News and World Report as the #1 hospital overall. Mayo Clinic ranked high in the annual Diversity Inc. Rankings of top 50 companies for diversity, and Mayo was ranked #3 among the top hospitals and healthcare systems for diversity. And we're also very committed to hiring people with disabilities and veterans. It's super fun to have Mark's explanation on accessibility. Our top priority at Mayo Clinic, too, is to make sure our facilities are accessible, digital accessibility is in place. So definitely top of mind in our hiring process. So let's talk a little bit about our employee benefits. Of course, you want to align your passions with an employer that ties to your values, but benefits are another important thing that you're looking at when you're trying to decide which employer you'd like to work for. We offer competitive benefits that are designed to change with you as your career evolves. We know that when Mayo Clinic takes care of you, you can take better care of our patients. And the website to find more information on that is mayoclinic.org/benefits. And a few things we'd like to cover is our paid time off, or we like to say PTO because we love acronyms. And our PTO, everything is in one bucket. It's not separate sick, vacation time, or holidays. It's all in one place. And that gives you more time. If you're never sick, you have more time to use for vacation. So we have patients, our staff that are serving patients on holidays, as well as some of the vacation. It gives them a little bit more flexibility. The other thing I wanted to highlight is that we have a pension plan. There's not too many companies that still invest in their employees and offer a pension plan for them. So as you look forward to retirement, that benefit will be there. The Career Investment Program is one of my favorite programs because once you come into an entry-level career, if you need to continue your education and it's a job that Mayo Clinic needs in the future, you're able to apply for the Career Investment Program. So eligibility is 1 year of service, and then you apply to the program, and Mayo Clinic would pay for that additional education or certification. And that is definitely a benefit to help grow your career. We want to mention our Mayo Employee Resource Groups. We call them merges. They're organized around common diversity dimensions. And for instance, we have merge groups that are at each of our sites: African descendants, Somos Latinos, LGBTI, veterans, disability, and many more Mayo Employee Resource Groups. We have about 35 merges across the enterprise. And here's probably the most interesting thing to you is to know that we have 300 distinct careers. That's why as recruiters, it's a tough job because we know many of them, but not all of them. And we're going to highlight quite a few tonight. But to learn more, you can go to that jobs.mayoclinic.org. And we're going to teach you how to navigate that site and be able to use keyword searches to find the job that matches with your education and experiences. I've always wished that there's a system, so any of you really AI technology smart people, we need a system we can drop in your resume and then it can search all the jobs and spit out exactly the job titles that are for you, but that doesn't exist yet. Another innovative opportunity for some of your students here. So we encourage you to really explore that career site, apply to more than one job, and we'll be talking about that as we go. Again, just on this slide too, if you look for a few keywords, might be assistant, specialist, coordinator, technologist. Putting that in, you're going to find all the jobs at the various locations. And going to look at the qualifications for that job is where we're going to have you start. And we will, I know Kirsten's going to talk about that in her presentation. There's one more slide that I wanted to show you and highlight our Mayo Clinic School of Health Sciences. So what I love about this slide is if you're going on to be a doctor, you can kind of see how many years you're going to spend in your education and investing in yourself and the kind of the pathway to get there. You know, you've got that 4-year bachelor's degree, then you have 1 to 2 gap years possibly where you can gain some research experience. Then you're going on to medical school, and then there's 3 to 7 years of residency. So we do have programming for doctors as well as many allied health careers. So right now our phlebotomy program is for students out of high school. I know you're all college students, but you might know someone that is graduating from high school and they would go into a 9-week program. Mayo is providing a scholarship for phlebotomy, and in 9 weeks they could be graduating and entering the workforce. So some of our careers like phlebotomy, histology, and pharmacy technician, 100% paid for by Mayo, and others are partnership with different educational institutions, or you're getting your degree now and are able to apply it and jump right into a job at Mayo Clinic. So I will turn it over to Jenna.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dawn. All right, so outside of the careers that Dawn just mentioned within our health sciences school, we do have a wide variety of other career opportunities here at Mayo Clinic. Another area I just wanted to spotlight is our DLMP, which is the Department of Laboratory Medicine and Pathology. So to land a career within DLMP, here are just a few of the job titles that we would typically hire college graduates for. These roles are going to be on site at one of our main campuses, so they would not be offered in a remote capacity. So in other words, if you're open to relocation to Jacksonville or sunny Phoenix or any of the Midwest Rochester sites and clinics, that's where we typically would have these roles posted. The career pathways would support one of our 60 different specialized laboratories in areas such as clinical microbiology, transfusion medicine, or even clinical biochemistry, just to name a few. So our clinical lab technologist is going to require a bachelor's degree within chemistry or biological science. Could be biology, biochemistry, microbiology, genetics, etc. That is a requirement for our CLT. For our medical lab technician, we are looking for a graduate, somebody graduating within 6 months of their bachelor's degree. Again, we would need to see somebody with a medical laboratory science or clinical laboratory science major or medical technology. So another combination of qualifications for the MLT role would be a bachelor's degree plus the certificate in medical laboratory sciences. So that is the requirements there. For our histology technician, we do look for somebody with an associate's degree as a minimum, and including at least 12 credit hours in chemistry, biology, or medical laboratory technology. In addition, we also would look for 6 credit hours in chemistry and in biology. I do want to just quickly call out, I know Southern New Hampshire is very involved on Handshake. There are some very cool videos regarding our DLMP department and what it looks like to be in one of these roles. So those videos can be found on our Handshake site as well. Research is another space we wanted to highlight today. So our researchers investigate today's medical mysteries, generating new knowledge and translating discoveries into therapies to advance our patient care. So within research, we do have our clinical research coordinator. This is going to be a requirement of a bachelor's degree plus 1 year of clinical research experience. However, we could also consider an associate's degree with 2 years of experience for this role. These positions are offered to work supplemental hours all the way up to full time. And also we do have opportunities for folks who do not have clinical research experience. We would hire them into our associate level. And likewise, our research technologist could be a career path for the coordinator who has experience. So as you can see, there's a lot of career growth opportunities available within our research shield there. Within finance, here is, so if we have anyone on the call today who's a finance major, specifically looking for remote, here are some highlighted roles that we wanted to discuss. Our finance analyst 1 and 2, so the first is a series of our, the first 2 that I'm highlighting here are a series of our 4 finance analyst roles. So as you can see, growth opportunities from within there. This is going to be performing tasks such as journal entries, reconciliation, data entry, standard data preparation, analysis. We use reporting tools to develop and manage financial information, and we are looking for a minimum of a bachelor's degree in either accounting or finance for our finance analyst 1. For the second level there, we do look for the bachelor's degree in addition to 3 years of experience. We do have an opportunity where having some experience supporting government grants and or commercial contracts would be a preference for this role. And then lastly, our surgical coder 2. This is another remote opportunity if you're looking for a coder role, reviewing and analyzing codes specific to medical record documentation. So this is going to be working collaboratively with our surgeons to ensure the accuracy of the codes that are being sent for each surgical case. We also wanted to highlight supply chain. So we, our supply chain management department is obviously another integral part of our enterprise. We've highlighted 2 roles here today, our logistics specialist and our logistics coordinator, both great opportunities for new grads to consider with Mayo Clinic. In these roles, we would be responsible for receiving, distribution, inventory control, warehousing, storage of products, etc. The specialist role is going to require the associate degree with a 1 year of experience as a preference. I call out preference just as we navigate to the career site in just a little bit here. You'll notice we do have preferences versus requirements. Another component to the coordinator role, which is that next tier in our logistics space, is that it requires the bachelor's degree with a minimum of 5 years of experience. All right, so I'm going to pass it to Kirsten, who's going to go over a few of the highlights of our nursing department. So Kirsten, I'll let you take it from here.
Okay, thank you, Jenna. So now, as Jenna had shared, we're going to talk a little bit about our career pathways within the Department of Nursing, which roughly makes up about 40% of Mayo Clinic's workforce. As you can see, we have many careers within the Department of Nursing, some that require specific education and licensure, but several don't. Careers within the Department of Nursing that require a minimal education are great for those looking to explore, get your foot in the door with healthcare. If there is interest in direct patient care, I have some opportunities listed here, such as hemodialysis tech, the patient care assistant or tech, procedural support assistant, urology tech, and vascular access tech roles all offer this experience. If there's interest in indirect patient care, the clinical assistant, endo-GI tech, health unit coordinator, and sterile processing tech offer this experience. So within the Department of Nursing, we also offer careers that require specific education and or a degree. So for example, the medical assistant role requires a graduate of a medical assistant program. The licensed practical nurse or LPN role requires a graduate of a practical nursing program as well as pass the NCLEX license. Same thing with the registered nurse role, requires graduation of an associate diploma, bachelor's or master's in nursing degree, as well as passing that NCLEX license. We also have some surgical roles that we offer at Mayo Clinic, such as our certified surgical tech role. That requires a graduate of a surgical tech program, and after 12 months of employment, certification is required. So that's not required upon hire. We also offer surgical first assist and surgical assistant roles that require graduation of a surgical assist program or equivalent surgical assistant training, as well as certification as a CSA or CSFA, which is Certified Surgical First Assist. We do offer a surgical first assistant program at Mayo Clinic, and requirements are a bachelor's degree in a health-related field or an associate's of applied science degree in surgical technology and 3 years of full-time operating experience. So just wanted to share that as a possibility if any of you may have an interest and are pursuing that track. So for new grad RNs or nursing students, we do have opportunities to get involved in our various internship and externship programs in not only Rochester, Minnesota, but throughout our Mayo Clinic health system and in Arizona. These summer programs would happen the summer prior to graduation and are educational-based programs where a student is partnered with an RN to understand the role in Mayo Clinic renowned care. We also offer nurse tech employment opportunities and PCA or patient care tech opportunities for nursing students. These are great ways for nursing students to get into the hospital setting prior to graduation, to really be on the front line, working alongside the multidisciplinary team while taking care of patients. The nurse tech role is offered to nursing students after their junior year in a BSN program or their third semester of their ADN program. This role is an unlicensed position that can offer patient care under the direction of an RN and limited patient education, and is available in all of our locations with the exception of Arizona, so Rochester, Minnesota, Jacksonville, Florida, and various Mayo Clinic health system sites. The patient care assistant and patient care tech roles are offered on all our campuses and assist with direct and indirect patient care under the delegation of a registered nurse. We also offer other tech roles as well. Finally, we offer a nurse residency for any RN new grad hires at Mayo Clinic, and the nurse residency is really complementing the orientation process. So 2 different things happen during your first year as a new grad. The orientation is the clinical nuts and bolts that a new grad will learn at the patient's bedside at the work unit. This is where the new grad will learn the requirements, the competencies. This is where the new grad will learn their clinical skill, gain confidence in becoming the novice to expert at the bedside while taking care of patients. In addition to that orientation process, which is extremely robust, in inpatient and ambulatory areas, the new grad will be looking at anywhere from between 8 to 10 to 12, up to 6 months of orientation. In addition to that, new grads will go through a nurse residency program, and this is offered at all our locations based out of Arizona, Florida, Minnesota, and Wisconsin. So now we're going to transition a little bit, make it a little bit interactive here, and walk through navigating our career site. So if we can pull up our career site, we can kind of offer some navigation tips here. So we're on our main career site right now, and there are many ways to explore our career site. Using keyword searches is one way, as you can see in that search bar, to explore the career site. So we thought we'd use an example using the word technologist. So if you can type that in and just use that. So just hit enter. And as you can see, typing in the word technologist gives you various tech and technologist results. So this shows you neurodiagnostic, radiologic, and various technologist opportunities. Other keywords to search might be coordinator or assistant to kind of explore these opportunities further. So with this result, coordinator, we can see the clinical research coordinator position that Jenna had referred to previously in the presentation. So that's one way. Another way to search broadly would be to leave both the role and keyword and location blank. So if you just want to hit enter, so you can see, and I'm surprised it's actually not more than that right now, but currently our career site is displaying over 1,600 open roles. So that's another way that if you just kind of wanted to cast a wide net and didn't use specific keywords, all of our current career opportunities, including remote, should pop up here. You can explore our career areas and learn about our physician and supporting healthcare professions on the website as well. If you're unfamiliar with a career, this section of the website can be very helpful. So visiting our learning opportunities tab, if you can kind of hover over there, this is where, again, kind of going back to some of the questions that I saw in the chat, you can find information about our administrative fellowship program and some of the other programs that we offer at Mayo Clinic, some internship opportunities, information about our residency and training programs.
Kristen, I'm going to jump in quick too.
Sure.
Sometimes too, if you don't know exactly what you're looking for, if you that left category and choose business, and then that will narrow it down. And then maybe business and Jacksonville if you want. So there's different ways that you can keep reducing the number so you're not looking at thousands of job postings.
Yeah, and as you can see on the left-hand side too, there is a remote, there's even a schedule category. So try to kind of help filter that further based on what you're looking for. So yeah, as you can see, just through this brief little demonstration, we have a wide variety of roles ranging from administrative assistants to project managers. We took a look at clinical research coordinators, fellowship opportunities. It takes a small city of individuals with various skills and roles to run our nation's #1 multi-specialty hospital. So we just wanted to make sure that you all had an awareness of kind of how to navigate. And then I would just say too, just one more thing, Jenna, while you're on this page, that if you can hover over events and click on that, this is another opportunity where you can connect and see where Mayo Clinic is engaged, either in virtual or on-site events. So another way that you can stay connected with us and learn more about our opportunities. Okay, so we can go ahead and transition back to the presentation. Okay, so just a quick plug for our talent community. This is a great way to stay connected with Mayo Clinic. And after this webinar, we highly suggest that you sign up, of course not required, but this is a great way to receive job alerts as soon as new opportunities are posted, as well as learn more about recruitment activities and business updates. When you sign up, you will have the opportunity to select career areas and locations of interest. So the job alerts will be tailored just for you when you receive them. Okay, so this slide is a visual of Mayo Clinic's employment process to provide an understanding of the steps needed to advance from application to interview. Typically, a position is posted and applications are received. Then the recruiter reviews and pre-screens those resumes. After the resume has been reviewed, those top qualified applicants are sent to our hiring manager for review. And then finally, the hiring manager decides whom to interview for the opening. Just for everyone's awareness, this process can take several weeks, but our system will notify you along the way as your application moves through the process. Okay, so this one's a little bit more in depth, but we wanted to spend a little bit of time just kind of reviewing a job posting with you since it is such an important piece of the application process. So what we have here is an example of a posting for a clinical research coordinator. The first thing that we recommend is reviewing the job responsibilities to identify what tasks you will be doing. This information can also be helpful when applying to the position, since you will want to customize your resume using information and keywords from the job posting. As you read this posting, a few examples of the technical or soft skills that may be important for you to list on your resume are a few that I can pull out. You're interested and passionate about clinical research. You're organized and have the ability to understand compliance with regulatory laws and institutional guidelines. You foster teamwork through strong communication skills. So those obviously aren't tangible. It's not your education. It's not your experience, but these are the soft skills that you're bringing to further demonstrate your proficiency and your interest and your qualifications for the role. Just a quick thing to note regarding sponsorship. So if sponsorship is something that you need for employment, we did want to make you aware it is the applicant's responsibility to verify sponsorship details on the posting. For this position, and it's not indicated here within this snapshot, but Mayo Clinic does not offer sponsorship for this particular role. There are a few positions in research that we do offer sponsorship for, but they're very limited. So it's more typical that applicants will have secured their own sponsorship prior to starting a position at Mayo. And again, we just encourage you to refer to the posting for this information. It should be clearly spelled out when we offer sponsorship or we do not. Next, you will want to carefully review the qualifications and any required certification if applicable. You must meet these to be considered for the position. So this is very important. It's a very important component of the posting, which will determine if you meet or do not meet the basic qualifications. If you do not meet the basic qualifications, it is recommended not to apply. We wouldn't want you to have a poor experience on your end submitting an application and getting a disposition on your end. The clinical research coordinator qualifications list bachelor's degree with at least 1 year of experience in a clinical or related field, or an associate's degree with 3 years of experience, or a high school diploma with 5 years of experience. So as you can see in this example, some positions require a degree and years of experience. Other positions list several ors in the qualifications. It's good to pay attention to the ors in a job posting as well as the ands. And that's where, things can get a little bit confusing. So definitely pay attention to any job postings that include that. If additional qualifications are listed on the posting, they are preferred, which essentially means the hiring manager highly desires this criteria, but it's not required. If you don't have the additional qualifications, we still welcome you to apply. Here is another opportunity to use the information in the additional qualifications to customize your resume, such as the soft skills example. Some additional details on the posting include pay range, schedule, and recruiter. Again, we weren't able to capture that in the snapshot, but just wanted to show you that. And now that we've had the opportunity to review a job posting in detail, we just wanted to offer some additional tips that you will find helpful. So depending upon the opportunity you have applied to, it may be highly competitive with many applicants being considered. Although it is not unusual to apply to several opportunities before securing an interview, we don't want you to become discouraged. It is just important for you to be aware that you may need to be patient and persistent in applying. Careers that are highly competitive may only be posted for a few days. So this is why it's important, just kind of going back to our talent community suggestion, to join our talent community and apply as soon as you receive that job alert that the opportunity has been posted. We recommend that you modify your resume to match the skills listed on the job posting as closely as you can by using those keywords, phrases, and other references that highlight the skills, education, and experience you possess that fit into the requirements of that position. Cover letters, I know there's debate on this, but we say they're important because they give a candidate an opportunity to add to the experience and background covered in their resume. A strong cover letter should introduce you to the hiring team, express your interest in the position, and address how your skills and past work experiences directly correlate to the position you're applying for. You need to apply to each job you're interested in. So, for instance, we have 10 business analyst opportunities, but they're each in different areas. If you'd like to be considered for all of them, you do need to apply to each one separately. So just kind of a heads up on that, because that does happen pretty frequently as well, where you'll see that on our career site. Timeframes for the hiring process will vary by each position to which you apply. And we left the number to our HR Connect team if you need further assistance with the application process. So I know we're quickly running out of time. That was a lot of content. I do want to hand it over to Jenna if we've got a few more minutes.
Perfect. Thanks, Kirsten. I'm going to actually deliver a quick pop quiz. And so I can't actually see the chat right now in the view that I'm in, unfortunately, but if you'd like to pop your response in the chat, that would be great. So if you are interested in a Mayo Clinic opportunity, how long do you have to apply? I'm going to see if I can view the chat, if we're getting any responses.
We got a D, we have a B, we have a D, we have a B, B, D. A lot of Ds.
Perfect. That is correct. D, all, but depends on the department. So the next, the next question we do have is, what is one way that you can use our career site to assist you in your job search? So we have review the job posting to understand those requirements, set up a keyword search to review and receive job postings weekly, explore educational programming that Mayo Clinic offers, or all of the above. And mark from reviews, it looks like perfect.
We got all D's.
Perfect. Wonderful. Now I do know we do have some other topics to go through and wanted to make sure we did allow time for question and answer. Are we good to proceed, Mark, with the timing?
Yes, if you want to go over a few more things, I think it's well worth our time. You're
Perfect.
offering some great stuff, so please
All
go
right.
ahead.
Super. All right. So we wanted to just spend, and I'll go through this kind of quickly here, but as a follow-up to our career site and how to best navigate our career opportunities, we wanted to also just quickly go over what can make you stand out within our Mayo Clinic application process. So how many of you have resumes ready to apply for jobs right away? And first we wanted to go over the importance of what to remember when preparing a resume. It is an art. People's resumes do not need to be the same. You may receive different advice from professionals on suggestions and edits to your resume. We just wanted to highlight that it is important to include those basic elements, of course, such as contact info, education, and working experience, but that you can also incorporate your technical skills and strengths into the experience section of your resume. The order in which you list your education and experience can change, so the recommendation could change depending on the position in which you're applying for. Our team here at Mayo Clinic does suggest that you have your application materials proofread for language and grammar errors, as this is your first impression. So it's the first impression as your introduction to our hiring manager, so make that count. All right, so if you don't have a resume, we just wanted to call out a few quick items to help get started by brainstorming and listing any accomplishments that you want to highlight. It's important to match those required skills from what you're actually viewing. So per Kirsten's slide there, in the career site and those job postings, identify those required skills and ensure that the skills on your resume are matching up. That could be through work experience or volunteer experience. In this particular example that you see here, this is for a certified nursing assistant. So we did want to highlight a few of those areas that you see there: elderly resident, direct care duties, professional. These are all important for the applicant to showcase in their resume that they have as working experience with the elderly, with providing personal care duties, and in an empathetic manner. So if a candidate's work experience is working with children in a daycare or in an educational setting, you could also translate these experiences to that position since it would be similar. A recruiter will be reviewing your resume and looking for those keywords that match up against the experience to our job postings. That is something that we're looking for here at Mayo. We get the question about cover letters quite a bit, so we did want to chat about the fact our cover letters are also a great opportunity to highlight those additional qualifications. You can't fit it all on a resume, so this is a great way to align the key details of the position and how you may set apart from other candidates. Before starting to write your cover letter, we do recommend just taking some time to thoroughly research the department that you're applying for by learning as much as you can about their current projects or any initiatives that they have in place. Then you can use your cover letter to help explain how you'll positively contribute to the team and those projects by highlighting the unique skill sets that you would bring to the table and any relevant knowledge and experience that you have. A strong cover letter should introduce you to the hiring team, express your interest in the position, and address how your skills, abilities, and past work experiences directly correlate to the position that you are applying for. You can certainly set yourself apart from all the other applicants by crafting a really compelling opening paragraph. So we recommend by starting out with your strongest selling point, an interesting industry statistic, maybe a relevant quote. Hiring managers at Mayo Clinic read hundreds of cover letters, so definitely a polished one that stands out above the rest will demonstrate that you're not only understanding what we're looking for, but how you can also communicate that well as well. I'm going to pass it over to you, Dawn, for some slides about our interviewing process at Mayo.
Thanks, Jenna. Yep, this is the last step in the process. Step one, figure out the position you want to apply to. Read that posting, customize your resume. If your resume is getting forwarded on to the hiring manager, then you know you've got your written materials up to date, including that cover letter, and hopefully that gets you to the interview. If you're not getting to the interview, go back to the drawing board and really focus on that job posting and customizing the resume and enhancing your cover letter. And it looks like JV is there to help you if you need any help with that. So I love that. Let's talk about the model that Mayo Clinic uses for their behavior interviews. And I always wondered why we ask the questions we do. But of course, we're science-based. We're a doctor-run organization, and behavioral-based interviews are a great predictor of future behavior. So the style of interview allows our panels to really get an understanding of how you're going to react or behave in different situations. We like to coach you to use the SHARE model, which is that acronym again, situation. So describe a specific situation where it took place, and not a general one, but a specific one. You have to think of a time when this happened on this day with this patient interaction or in this classroom or this volunteer experience. Be very specific. Talk about any hindrances or challenges that you had to overcome in this particular situation. A is the action that you took. What did you do? Where were you in the team? Were you the leader? Were you the supporting role? Be able to articulate the action and highlight your contributions to the situation. And then don't forget to talk about the results. What happened? Whether the outcome was positive or negative, make sure you share the results. And then your evaluation this is a stage that people often miss. What would you do next time? Would you want to change something? Would you keep it the same? I like to think of maybe a gift, right? And you're putting the bow on your package, and that is the results and the evaluation is make sure that you tie up your story with a great ending. And then if we talk about things to prepare you for that interview, think about all the different things that you have done. Remember, it can be a situation in work, it can be in volunteer, it can be a school experience. Talk about projects you've completed, how you met deadlines. maybe trainings or educations that you provided on the job. Maybe situations where you went above and beyond. We're all about excellence, and you want to be able to highlight where you went above to serve your customer, or in our case, it'll be patients. Showcase your personal responsibility. We talked about that in actions. What did you do? How did you contribute to the project? And then practice your responses. Take time to think about how you're going to respond. My favorite technique is to Google some interview questions for a particular role, and then take that share model, write it down, and then rehearse it. You don't want it to be scripted, but if you have time to think through an example for teamwork, communication, conflict resolution, getting results, attention to detail. If you have about 5 good stories, you're going to adapt to just about any interview question. And then refrain from speaking negatively about your current position or manager, coworkers, in your responses. Show that positive attitude. So I think our last slide is giving you the resources, and we will be able to send this slide deck over, I think, to Mark. Maybe he can help distribute it to the participants, or JV can help with that. But we've got a Mayo Clinic career site that we navigated with you. It's got an events page that is very helpful if you want to come meet us at an event or connect to one of our career webinars that we offer monthly. The talent community, please sign up for that. We put the Career Connect website. It's an external website outside of Mayo Clinic firewalls that you can learn about what are we looking for in the resume, cover letter, and that behavioral interview that we talked about with you today. And then we'd love for you to connect with us, whether at Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, or Handshake.
Wow. Boy, you folks brought a lot. You brought a lot to the table today. Thank you so much. And we got bonus content. I didn't realize you're going to share the resume, cover letter, interviewing, all of that stuff. Some great stuff. And I love the share framework. That's really great. Jen, Vincent, I think that our panelists really got to the vast majority of the questions. Is there anything hanging out there? Any one question maybe that didn't get addressed that you want to put forth?
They did answer pretty much a majority of the questions. There's just one that just popped in from Kendra. What type of positions do you think fit psychology majors best?
I can start, and then maybe y'all could chime in, but the clinical research coordinator, I see a lot of psychology majors in research. That clinical research coordinator is really helping our investigators with supporting their studies, enrolling patients. So you do have some patient content or connection, as well as, a lot of organization and making sure that they're following the protocol set by the IRB. Another place that we'll see psychology majors is in human resources. I think recruiters, advisors. We also have a team that supports our people with disabilities. It's called Return to Work at Mayo Clinic. So there may be some psychology majors in that work team too.
Super. And I'm sure there, with 3,000, was it 3,000 distinct careers? I'm sure there's some others that might interest an individual with a psych degree that, that is pretty much something that someone with good background, good work history, and presents well might be qualified for as well. So check out the website. Look through all these resources, the career resource section of your website. Something else I learned about tonight. Really great. And I would encourage folks on here to go to some events that these folks are holding in addition to tonight. And they have some on their website. And there's also some listed in Handshake, quite a few listed in Handshake. So this isn't your only chance to benefit from these wonderful people and all the great information and advice they can share. So I think that should probably do it. This is probably the most information-packed session of this type that I've done. So that's an achievement. I think that's a good thing. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. So Jenna, Kirsten, Dawn, we're really appreciative of your time and your interest in us and being here and sharing all this. JV, thank you. Thank you all our academic colleagues that are on, as well as other SNHU staff that joined us tonight. And lastly, of course, all our students and recent grads. This is for you, and we offer a lot of these, so just look at the events section in Blackthorn. Keep an eye on your email inbox. I know you get a lot of email, but there's some good stuff in there. And join us for some other programs, please. And that's it. We'll call it a night, and enjoy the rest of the day wherever you are and whatever you're going to do. And once again, thank you so much, Mayo friends.
Thank you so
Thanks,
much.
Mark.
Thank you all for joining. Take care.
Have a good night. Bye-bye.